Everywhere that doesn't have a strong Christian heritage is a fucked up place with bad morals.
That's a ridiculous statement. That's a ridiculous statement.
That's
Everywhere that doesn't have Judeo-Christian values is a fucked up place.
I think that yes, I think it should be perfectly reasonable, respectable thing to say that our culture is better. I believe our culture is better than everywhere else in the world.
Culture of Christians.
I think
Christians are running around doing ketamine and fucking each other.
European and American culture, which is based on Judeo-Christian values, is better than other cultures. I think it's uncontroversial to say so.
But what's based on Judeo-Christian values about being a good person?
Ultimately, our
it has
sense,
nothing to do
our
with
sense
the
of right and wrong
involved.
comes from the Bible.
What?
It does.
What comes from the Bible?
Ultimately, our sense of right and wrong comes from the Bible.
Our sense of right and wrong.
I think your sense
of... there's the only way that a person could have ethics and morals and treat each other well.
No, I didn't say the only way.
Don't you think that people understand what's good and what's bad? Listen, if we're going to have a conversation, we can't keep talking over each other like this. When someone's trying to make a point about something that's complex like this, if you think that the only way for a person to have ethics or an understanding of each other or compassion for each other is to rely on ancient myths that are easily scientifically disproven, well, that's what Christianity is.
No, I didn't say that. I said that the specific set of values that you have is influenced more than you would like to admit by your Judeo-Christian heritage.
It's influenced by a
there are certain things
of
that I think all of us have.
What you are.
I mean, I might take it to extremes.
Who you are, but who you are. Being a gay man
who I am.
that's
how
promiscuous.
I behave. It's what I do.
But that is prohibited in the Bible.
Yes, but I agree that it would be better if I didn't behave like this, and if I could
choose
to be heterosexual,
so you're a
I would do so.
Self-loathing homosexual.
No, and I won't have this. You need to read a wonderful essay by Brett.
No, I don't need to read shit. I need to know what the fuck you're saying.
Okay, so Brett
because what you're saying is who you are.
It's not
prohibited in the Bible.
You are, because I don't think my sexuality is an important component
of my... It's a huge part of you. You talk about it all the time. Well, it's a massive part of what we've talked about on the show.
I think...
it comes up anytime you want to make a funny point. It comes up anytime you want to define your sexuality or your urges or your decadence. I think you jump to it because I think it's you.
Well, I think people leap to the most different thing about themselves, or the most unusual thing about themselves, anytime they want to be funny or be,
I think Jake Paul would kill Tommy Fury, and that wouldn't change. I don't know how good Jake Paul is, but I don't know of any boxer who can bring enough to a Jake Paul fight.
So here's Tommy Fury. You telling me this guy doesn't look like a boxer? You're out of your fucking mind.
Who's he fighting?
But I don't give a fuck, dude. Look at this. Look at this. He's fighting a professional boxer. The guy's fighting looks good. Dude, you're crazy if you don't think Tommy Fury's a boxer. Look at that uppercut. Shut the fuck up, dude.
No.
Shut the fuck up. Watch this.
Find the Tommy Fury. Find the Tommy Fury fight on the Jake Paul card.
Shut the fuck up.
This guy cannot.
Please shut the fuck up and watch this. Watch what he's doing. This motherfucker is 100% a boxer.
Can you find me the record of Bokianski's?
This. Stop. Watch this. Watch this. Look at this. Look at this.
What is
this? This guy's a fucking boxer, man.
That doesn't prove anything.
From like my perspective, I've seen my dad, and he was very like, you can see from the videos from 2014 before he started going low carb and everything, he was carrying about 50 extra pounds.
Right.
And he didn't exercise. And he didn't have enough energy to exercise.
That's not true.
But it didn't look like that.
That's not true. He just didn't do it.
No, I don't believe that.
But when you say he didn't have enough energy to exercise, did he walk around?
Well, yeah, but you can drag yourself through things.
And you can drag yourself through an exercise routine. You can. Oh, you most certainly can. You most certainly can. You don't have to do a lot. You just have to do something. You walk up hills. You jump a little rope. You take a little tiny kettlebell. You do a couple cleans and presses. You do a few push-ups. You do a few sit-ups. You get your blood pumping. You're moving. You're alive. You're exercising. To say you don't have enough energy to exercise, that's crazy. Can you walk to the refrigerator? Then you can exercise. I'm not saying that you have to run marathons. You can exercise, and everyone should fucking exercise.
I think of marriage is a certain thing, which is the context for procreation, for the building of the nuclear family.
What about people that get married that don't have kids? Are you opposed to that? What if they get married, they decide, you know what, we don't need kids. I'm going to get fixed. You get your tubes tied. Let's travel the world.
Well, what do you mean am I opposed to it? I mean, I think that every married couple should be open to life.
But what if they don't want to? Are you opposed to them being married? If marriage is only for procreation and to bond a family together, what about people that are deeply in love that never want to have children?
I don't think it's not only procreation, but that is one of the fundamental definitional aspects of it. Of course, there's more to marriage just than that.
And what about people that are infertile? they fall in love and they realize that they can have babies and they don't really necessarily want to adopt. Is that okay for them to be married? Because then by definition, marriage falls into a completely different thing, because then it's a bond of love. It's a union of love. See, this is the thing with all these goddamn demonstrations. That guy's willingly cooperating.
Well, yeah, I mean,
look at that.
He's practicing the technique, and practicing the technique, you either cooperate or your arm breaks.
Well, this isn't even cooperating. This guy's throwing himself on the ground. This is silly. This guy's running towards him and letting this guy clothesline him. Come on, that doesn't ever happen. The guy's just standing there. This would never work against a trained fighter. Never. Not in a million years. You get an NCAA Division I wrestler, he's going to shoot on this guy, and this guy's going to be on his head in seconds. It just doesn't work.
I mean, yeah, but again, the goal is not necessarily face-to-face combat. You know, if you can pick other things that are more military and are trying to kill, when the goal is kill, the goal is not killing or meeting force with force. The goal is keeping people safe in Aikido.
That's
the
why
goal
I
in
brought
like
up
Krav
wrestling.
Maga is to kill you or to kill your opponent as quickly as possible.
Well, that's
to
why
disable them.
That's why I brought up wrestling, because wrestling, the goal isn't to kill you either. Wrestling, the goal is to just hold on to you. Well, the goal is to control your body, which would be probably the most effective way to avoid getting hurt. If you had someone coming at you, if you can control their body, they can't hurt you.
Sure, but controlling yourself is probably the higher focus on Aikido, I would say.
I think you're fucking buying some mumbo jumbo, pal. I think they got you.
Maybe they do. Maybe I've been indoctrinated.
Most of that stuff doesn't work. But
yeah, but you know that's also competition. I mean, I've been attacked in bars. You know, someone grabs me in a bar, and before they know it, I'm standing next to them, and they're not interested in attacking me anymore because their wrist is, you know, in pain, or they're on the ground, or, you know, that's happened to me. I've used this stuff in real world environments, not against some, like, you know, professional wrestler who's coming at me, but against some asshole in a bar.
Right.
You know, it's very valid. It's very useful.
Okay. What that means to me is it works great as long as the guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
In sports, one of the things, our assumption that men have an advantage over women. Right, in sports. In sports, yeah.
Our assumption?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let me expand on it. Our assumption that men have an advantage over women in sports is partially based on the fact that so many of the sports were designed for male bodies. Right, they're optimized for male bodies. Right, basketball, for example. Right. How
is that optimized for male bodies?
It's like the height of the basket, you know, the way that the ball moves around, you know, like if
the way the ball moves around.
If we're gonna say that,
I fell victim to the idea that like it was progress. We have to care about the environment. It was progress, and it's like no, like we've been losing. America has been losing, and Donald Trump understood that in a way that I didn't. And
I don't think we have to care about the environment. Like,
no, not even a little bit. Like,
not even a little bit.
No. Okay, let me clarify this. I don't throw trash on the ground. Like I'm not saying like we need to like, you know, trash the environment. Like, but do I believe in climate change? No.
Okay, but this is an incredibly complicated subject.
Right.
And if you would have to talk to a bunch of different scientists and see how they gather data and see what they understand about CO2 levels and what's the danger of them and what can combat it and what could not. Have you done all this, or do you take this flippant opinion based on the party line?
This is not.
Human beings, if they never existed, the Earth has constantly gone through cycles. The question is not whether or not the Earth has gone through cycles of cooling and warming.
Right.
The question is, are we exacerbating that? The vast majority of scientists say we are.
Okay.
Now, this could negatively impact all sorts of coastal cities. This could be a gigantic problem. This is not like propaganda that's drummed up by some sort of big business that seeks to make money off of this, or some sort of a
they were making money off of it.
Al Gore might have made some money off
of it.
No, but like
the agreement that we were in, they were that was like the amount of money that America was losing. But here's what I was going to ask you. So let's just
wait a minute. The amount of money America was losing. Who is America?
In the Paris Agreement. This is the reason why we wanted to get out of the Paris Agreement. But that's where I wanted to get to. So let's say we all agree that global warming is real. I don't believe it's real. Okay, so I can't sit here.
But here's the question. But why have a belief?
What do you mean?
Why have a belief as to whether or not global warming is real or not real?
Because
If
I
you
just
don't have a
find that
background
when
in
things
it, you don't
you're
understand the
correct.
science.
You are correct.
But why have a belief in it?
Right. So it's not a belief. It's not a belief in it. I don't believe in it.
If you could see the moon, why can't you see Hawaii?
There's a lot of atmospheric.
No, it curves. The fucking thing curves.
No, if it curves, okay.
That's what the scientists say, Eddie. The ones who make the GPS, the ones who make the maps, the ones who chart the fucking paths for airplanes and shipping routes. All those people say it's round. All the people that do satellites, all the people that are involved in aerospace, all the people that are involved in anything where you have to calculate the fucking curve of the earth and the to get things to places. All those people think it. They're all wrong. That's crazy that they haven't seen that picture. They don't see that picture. If they saw that picture, they would get it.
At 100 miles in the ocean, 100 miles, how much curvature should there be? Do you know?
I don't care.
It's about 6,000 feet. It's
Okay.
about 6,000 feet of curvature. So you should not
is that
be able to
how far
see.
you could see?
No, you wouldn't be able to see 100 miles away from the ocean.
Says who, Eddie? You didn't go to school for this stuff. These people that
I
are talking
understand.
to you.
Dude, I
but
research
these
this
people-
all the time.
I know, but you're
I
hearing
research this.
from
what
one
I'm saying
side.
is not a lie.
But you know what I'm saying?
What I'm
You're
saying
hear-
is that at 100 miles, there should be 6,000 feet of curvature. You don't even understand what that means.
I don't.
There's
They're
also
supposed to
hold
be-
on though.
But hold on.
There's
Don't stop
also-
me.
Okay.
That's real too. And we all have to agree. We have to agree on both of those things.
There are also, though, I'm not going to argue with you on that point, but I will say there are people who have been born of rape and are alive right now and are pro-life, and they go around speaking, talking about
That's
how I
great.
had a right to live, and they will go out there and make an argument, a pro-life case, and they're born of a rape.
You don't have a right to tell a 14-year-old girl she has to carry a rapist baby.
I'm
You
just saying that.
don't.
I'm
But
just
do you
saying that's
understand
real
what you're
too.
saying?
Yeah, I understand. What
But
you're
do you
saying.
understand what I'm saying? Like, you don't have the right to tell my 14-year-old daughter she has to carry her rapist baby. You understand
to
that?
look that woman in the eye who was
But
born
listen,
of a rape.
do you understand that? That's a 14-year-old child. If a 14-year-old child gets raped, you say that they have to carry that baby?
I don't think two wrongs make a right. I don't think
That's
murder.
not- I don't think that's
murder is an
wrong.
answer to. I don't think murder fixes a rape.
What if we're talking about an abortion when the fetus, literally it's like 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 days? What if she just turned positive just now? Positive for pregnancy.
I just disagree that.
What if it just happened
that
today?
You can, like,
Trump averaged 15 inaccuracies
go.
and mistruths a day in 2018, almost triple the rate from a year before.
Okay.
But hold on a second.
What's the independent?
Inaccuracies and mistruths? It's a European paper.
Yeah.
But isn't that a little odd? 15 a day.
No, because I don't know who's making that claim. I don't know the
Let's
exact
hear what it
15
says.
inaccuracies.
You doubt that it's true? You think that's all a lie? They just made up the fact that he lies a lot?
Lies about what? First of all, what's the definition of a lie?
I don't know. Let's see. It says Washington Post, who they hate,
Who
Jeff
hates Trump.
Bezos. Yeah.
Who absolutely
said
hates
the president made
But that's my point. That's-
1,989 such claims in 2018. By the last day of 2018.
Yeah, you're going to the Washington Post.
2017.
That's my point.
But let's see what it says. I mean, they can't lie. The total figure has risen to
Who can't lie?
7,600. So you think they just made up all these lies?
Of course, not all of them, I'm sure, but you could go back with Hillary and fucking count. You could go to Fox News and pull up an article of how many times Hillary was inaccurate.
Do you know what a whataboutism is?
A whataboutism?
Yeah, when someone talks about something and instead of refuting it with facts, they go, "Yeah, well, what about Hillary? What about Bill? Bill did it too. What about this? What about that?"
You're gonna
that's
tell
a
me
whataboutism.
That's what I just committed.